Hello everyone, Blaze here, welcome back to another Discotek update. I guess this is part 4, some 2 months after the longest 24 hours of our lives. But I jest, obviously, we finally have more updates from Discotek in terms of license announcements. A small smattering of announcements here, and some pretty awesome ones, 2 of which I'm extremely excited for. So let's move on to let's go straight into this one. 5 centimeters per second, the Makoto Shinkai film. This has already had 2 releases in America, and both are really out of print. I wasn't aware of just the status of 5 centimeters per second as a home video release in America, because in the UK we've had a release here that's been on DVD, that's been in print for a long time now, and you can pick it up relatively cheaply. It's a movie I've never got around to watching. It's just one of those things I've just never got around to it. I've heard really good things about it, just never got around to it. But yeah, both the DVDs that are previously released, one by ADV and one by Bandai, are both going for at least $75 and up. I mean, I'm sure you can get the odd deal off eBay for less, but yeah, that's at least on Amazon.com they were $75 or more for either of them. So this is probably a welcome release from Discotek. It's part of the Crunchyroll deal. It is DVD only because it's part of the Crunchyroll deal. That's one of the things that came out of that Crunchyroll deal with Discotek. One of the bits of information that came out. I don't think I mentioned it in the video before because I don't think anyone was aware of it necessarily. But the Crunchyroll deal doesn't mean anything is coming out on Blu-ray, or it does. It basically, yeah. Let's try to explain that better. But all of the Crunchyroll licenses that Discotek are helping Crunchyroll put out on DVD are only for DVD. Crunchyroll only have DVD rights for any of this stuff that will be done with Discotek. So Discotek themselves say don't have the Blu-ray right now, but maybe in the future. It's under Crunchyroll license with DVD only. So I mean, if this sells relatively well enough, and it might well do given the the status and the sheer crazy prices of the other 2 older releases go for, then this might sell relatively well. And Makoto Shinkai is one of the most prominent directors, and yeah, maybe a Blu-ray will come out from Discotek in the future. Anyway, moving on. Oh yes, oh yes, this is Discotek back in form. You can see my reaction right there. Holy crap, Giant Gorg. The complete series, Japanese English subs, release date to be announced or to be decided. This is a 1984 mecha series from Sunrise. I was really surprised to see this. I'm really happy to see this. I was surprised because I was not under the impression, let's say, but more I was expecting that as part of the deal that Right Stuff and Sunrise have to put out Gundam in America, I was thinking that down the line we would probably see Sunrise perhaps try and put out some of their other mecha series that weren't Gundam related, because if there was something that was very much apparent in the 80s, that was mecha was the thing, and there were lots and lots of them, and Sunrise produced quite a handful of them that weren't Gundam related, one of them being Giant Gorg, which is a really cool one. The opening theme to this is really awesome. I will put a link to a YouTube video that has the opening theme for it. But yeah, very excited for this. I will definitely be picking this up. I think this is a great move by Discotek. I'm really happy to see them get a 80s mecha series. I don't think they've done that so far. Pretty sure like their Mars and Go was obviously 70s, and that was is that the only major mecha series they've done? I think it might be, or maybe something's just doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully we might see something like what do you call it, Zimbungle or something. I can only remember how to say it from the opening song, which goes like Zimbungaru, like that. So I'm kind of like, I don't quite know how to say it when I'm not just singing it from the opening theme, but I'd like to see that. That's another Sunrise series. That was 50 episodes though, this one being only 26. It's a much more bite-sized chunk. But yeah, really happy to see this. Like, this is Discotek definitely returning to the sort of stuff I want them to be picking up. And across all of the rest of the stuff, everything they picked up, I'll be showing in this video, is stuff that I'm really happy to see Discotek doing. Like the only Crunchyroll thing was the 5 centimeters per second. But yeah, Giant Gorg Sunrise 1984 Mecha Series, 26 episodes, awesome stuff. Moving on, next we got more Lupin. We got Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan, the 2009 TV special. Is it Conan for Detective Conan, like Case Closed or whatever? I don't know if it's Conan or Conan, but yeah, this is the TV special, not the movie. But don't worry, we'll be seeing the movie in just a second. But yeah, this is cool stuff. Just another Lupin special. Seems with their most recent Lupin special that's coming out pretty soon, the from Siberia with Love, which apparently is a more correct translation of the original Japanese, or was it something to do with licensing issues? Because been previously known as From Russia with Love, I think. Even so, it might have been with it might be down to licensing issues, because I think one of the James Bond movies is called that or something. But anyway, so yeah, that's the last special that Discotek are putting out, or at least the most recent one they'll be putting out pretty soon. And that was the last of the ones before Funimation's TV specials, which Funimation put out 10 or 12 or something. I think it's 10 they put out, and yeah, that From Siberia with Love was the last one. So I was quite interested to see where Discotek would go. A lot of us were sort of hoping they might finally pick up Lupin the Third Part 2, the TV series, or even Part 3 even. But I'm not surprised to see them go back to the well and pick up some of these specials. It's really cool to see the crossover with Detective Conan be one of them. So that's the 2009 TV special. It'll be on DVD, probably only, sub only, but still pretty cool. Next we had this one shoved in between the two Lupin things. This is Library Wars. This I'm really happy about as well. This is a series I've wanted to see for a long time. I've had it fan subbed on my computer for a while, just hadn't quite got around to it. Obviously I tried to prioritise what I actually buy on Blu-ray and DVD, or the anime I spend money on, rather than watching fan subs, so I never got around to watching it. But this is a Noitomina series from about, I'm probably going to have to guess here. I'm going to say somewhere like 2009, 2010, maybe. I can't remember, 2008, whatever. Doesn't matter, but it's, so from what I'm aware, it's a comedy series, but set in like a military setting, where basically, like, how to describe this? I don't know if they're like under martial law or something, but basically the main female character works in a library, but by working in a library and protecting these books, she's also working as part of the military. But as far as I'm aware, it's like a sort of slice of life, slightly random comedic series. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but from what I understand, that's what it is. This is only for the TV series. There is a movie that came out in Japan, obviously, but why I'm saying it came out in Japan was because it came out in Japan on Blu-ray with English subtitles, the movie did. So even if Discotek don't pick up the movie, I'll probably end up importing that movie from Japan at some point, because it has English subtitles on it, which is cool. And yeah, the TV series from Discotek is obviously going to be English sub only and probably DVD only, but still. So yeah, that's a really cool pickup. I think that's I like. It's a recent series, but it's the sort of recent stuff that I don't mind Discotek picking up. It's especially when they're still picking up stuff like Giant Gorg and something else we'll see later. So I'm quite happy for them to pick up things like this, especially when it's something I'm actually really interested in. So yeah, Library Wars, or Library War. I'm pretty sure it's Wars. That says War, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on. Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan, the movie. So I believe this was, 2013, so not that long ago. Follow up to the TV special. Two of the longest running TMS series. I'm pretty sure Conan himself is a TMS entertainment series, isn't it? I might be wrong, but yeah, like two of the longest running. And yeah, another crossover adventure, this time on the big screen. And yeah, this is really cool to see this get picked up. I'm surprised they might not have considered dubbing this. I feel like this one, after Jigen's Gravestone, if they're gonna dub the odd thing here and there. I mean, this is only a movie. I feel like this would have been a good choice to dub, because obviously Detective Conan under Funimation was released as Case Closed, and so there's already established actors and actresses out there that could do the voices for the Detective Conan characters. So I don't know. It's interesting. I thought this might have been worth their time to not only put it out as dubbed but also on Blu-ray. But suffice to say, that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But still, pretty cool pickup. Another one that I'll plan to get. I plan to eventually get all the Lupin stuff. Just slowly doing so. But yeah, it's good stuff to see this picked up along with the TV special, especially since, I mean, it was sort of obvious that after they licensed this, everyone was going to go, hey, are you going to get the movie? So yeah, not surprised that they did get the movie and got that license out there announced as soon as possible. So yeah, moving on. Something I don't give two shits about, but I will try to be as fair as possible. This is Sonic X. So far as I'm aware, this is the first anime TV series based on Sonic. I don't know if that's 100% correct. I know there's the movie from like 1996, which is actually pretty good, honestly. I don't like Sonic the Hedgehog. I never had a Sega, Mega Drive, or Genesis as a kid. I just didn't enjoy the games. I always found them such a weird thing that for people to be into, because I was sitting there playing Super Mario World and Mario All Stars and stuff, and going, the difference is night and day. Clearly, one of them is way better, and that better game is Super Mario World slash Mario All Stars. Sonic just never lived up to that, in my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, I don't really like Sonic, but I do like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That's like the first anime Sonic thing, I think. And I also enjoy Sonic Sat AM, but that was an American series. So as far as I'm aware, Sonic X is the first one that was done in Japan. And something I found out in the comments is you can watch the Japanese version of this show on Hulu in America. It's there on dub and sub, which is kind of cool. This is another TMS Entertainment series as well, I believe, in Japan. I think. It's under TMS on Hulu. But anyway, as Discotek say, English dub right now, not sure on the Japanese version yet. So I think they might do the Japanese version. I think this will be a good seller for Discotek. I think it's a good pickup for them. I just have no interest in it whatsoever. But Sonic Sat AM's a good show. Anyone who likes Sonic, that's the show you should watch. Screw this stuff and Sonic Underground. Go and watch Sonic Sat AM, because it's a great series. And the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, that's also really good. But yeah, Sonic X, a good decision. I'm sure it will sell well, but yeah, no interest. Okay, I believe this is the awesome... No, okay, this is something else. This is very interesting, so it's happening, basically, is what this is. Back a while ago now, over a year ago now, Discotek were umming and ahhing about the idea of putting Lupin the Third, the original series, out on Blu-ray, but only as standard definition. So it'd be all 23 episodes on one single disc, or Blu-ray disc, with the absolute highest bitrate possible for standard definition. And in theory, it would definitely look better than DVD. And they're going with that idea, but it isn't Lupin that they're doing first. I think the problem with the Lupin thing that a lot of people had, and me included, was there is a perfectly fine Blu-ray release in Japan of Lupin the Third, the original series. So, you know, that to get a Blu-ray version but still have it be standard definition just wasn't very appealing. So here is the first one they're planning to do. That I like the fact they're showing it with a red Blu-ray case in order to make it look different from a standard Blu-ray. I think that's a good idea. I think they mentioned that when they were talking about Lupin and stuff. But yeah, Samurai Pizza Cats, the complete collection, all 52 episodes in standard definition on a single disc. This practice of putting standard definition content on Blu-ray is actually not super crazy. I actually think, having slept on it, I don't mind the idea, because I can see the advantage. Obviously, you get the absolute perfect standard definition experience you could possibly have, because there is more than enough room on Blu-ray to put 52 episodes on a single disc, like way more, easily more than enough room. So you get the absolutely highest bitrate possible. This is as good as these will ever look in standard definition, assuming obviously Discotek encode all the video correctly. So assuming they do that, this will look as good as it possibly can look without being in high definition. So that's a positive, you know, that's a good thing. This is only the dub release, so obviously the Japanese version has slightly different edits or whatever, and I think it's an episode longer. I don't know if they're going to do the Japanese version on Blu-ray. That'd be interesting, but yeah, I'm not overly against this, and this idea of doing this is actually, it's being done. If you look on Amazon in Germany, German Amazon, they put lots of standard definition series out on Blu-ray. Currently they're releasing, especially anime, they're currently releasing the original Naruto series on Blu-ray, and it's all being done in the same standard definition on Blu-ray concept. So they're doing that for Naruto. They've done it for Rose of Versailles. They've done it for the German translation of Captain Tsubasa. They're currently also doing it, I mean these are probably different distributors, but they're also currently doing it for the original 1980s to 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series as well. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on. I will probably end up, I want to see Samurai Pizza Cats, and I think this will be, I will probably buy this release because I'm really curious to own a standard definition Blu-ray set. As I see here, I see the advantages of this, but it just feels so weird, and I'm really mixed on it. That was my initial reaction, because I do see the advantages of it. Like I say, with the bitrate and all that, you get the convenience of Blu-ray technology in terms of the menus and stuff. Being able to have pop-up menus as you're watching the content. The thing that kind of worries me a little bit, and I don't quite understand how this will work. If they're standard definition episodes, that must mean that you're watching... It's not upscaled, right? Because it's not upscaled natively on the disc. They're 480p. If they were upscaled, they wouldn't be able to fit all 52 episodes on a single disc, right? So does that mean when you're watching it, the menus and the subtitles aren't going to be in crystal clear high definition? They will also be in 480p. They will probably look nicer than subtitles on DVDs, just to the advantages of Blu-ray technology and the typesetting, etc. that Blu-ray technology provides. But it will be a shame if even if you're watching a standard definition video, that the Blu-ray menus, when they pop up when you're watching the episodes, and this probably won't have subtitles anyway, but say in the future if you have subtitles on the release, say if they release the Japanese version of Samurai Pizza Cats on standard definition Blu-ray as well, then will the subtitles also not be in crystal clear high definition? Like, for all intents and theory, I guess not, right? So I'm very intrigued by the idea, but if really the only single advantage of this is having the highest bitrate possible and having all episodes on a single disc, while that sounds really great, I don't know if that's still something I'm really that keen on. I don't know why, if it's not actually taking advantage of the Blu-ray technology but just the disc space, then I can leave it. Which sounds picky really, because in the end the episodes looking as good as they can is probably the best thing possible. But anyway, I'm not going to go too far into it. I'll probably talk at further length about this when this actually comes out and I buy it. I do plan to buy this release solely so I can see what this technology is like and what having a standard definition Blu-ray is like. So yeah, I'm not totally against the idea at all. It's just confusing in my mind, And the sad thing is about it, though, I must say, a lot of people's initial reaction was, "Oh my god, it's come to Blu-ray! Look, sweet Blu-ray!" Some of it, I think now a lot of the people have come in and said the more normal stuff, it's SD or whatever. But it was like, "Oh my god," and stuff like that. I think some people, a lot of these comments are more of the same vein as what I was saying, but a lot of the original comments were very excited, "Oh, it's coming to Blu-ray," and that's one of the downsides to this, I think, is some people just don't understand why Blu-ray is better. They just know it is. So if you start presenting standard definition Blu-rays, a lot of people will buy them and just go, "Well, this is clearly better than DVD because it's on Blu-ray," and for all intents and purposes, that's still the case. Like I said, highest bitrate possible, the episodes will look as good as they can. But it doesn't mean it's suddenly going to be in high definition, obviously. So, yeah. Intriguing. I'm going to stop talking about it now because I've been talking about it for way too long. But yeah, intriguing indeed. Okay, next thing is super awesome. Very happy about this. It comes after a little bit of bad news. but it's all made for the better after seeing this. Dororo, complete series with the pilot, which is also pretty awesome. The Japanese English subtitles. This is the Tezuka production series based on the Osamu Tezuka manga, Dororo. This is a 1960s black and white anime that is going to be released in its original Japanese. Finally, we're going to get something like that. This is so freaking cool. This was being funded, crowdfunded on Anime Souls. They're now eventually, very soon to be defunct Anime Souls. They're going out of business come May the 1st, I think. But yes, Dororo was crowdfunded to have the first 13 episodes subtitled. They tried to get a bunch of these old shows after not doing so well with the DVD releases. They were just trying to get some of these things subbed, and they were doing crowdfunding for that, which I sort of disagreed with. But one of the ones the only one that was successful was Dororo, quite significantly successful, proving that this show probably would have been okay on DVD for them as well. And I'm so glad to see Discotek take notice of the clear interest in this series and pick it up. Because yes, it's one hell of a risky license, but I can't imagine this cost too much for Discotek to license. Because if you look in Japan and see the average prices for TV set, like DVD sets that came out for any anime from any era, most of the Tezuka production stuff from the 60s and 70s is really cheap. You can buy in Japan, obviously with no English subtitles, but you could buy in Japan the complete series of Dororo for only 5,000 yen, I think it is. Like, really cheap. It's a 26 episode series. So it just shows that there are still cheap licenses, I'd imagine this certainly was, to be had for some of these older shows. So the risk is far less, and I think this will really pay off, because this series, I watched the first, the first 3 episodes, I think it was, when they initially, because they initially subbed like the first 3 episodes of all those ones they were trying to get funded for subtitling up to episode 13. And yeah, I watched these, and I thought it was awesome, really awesome series, and I'm really, really happy to see this get licensed. I really hope that this sells well, and Discotek might take a look at something like a Cyborg 009, which is also actually currently being fan sub very slowly by the Skyro Hunting Society. But there's also what was one of the other ones? Another one that the Skyro Hunting Society is also doing is Sabo and Ichi, the Detective Tales, I think it's called, which also looks like a really awesome 1960s black and white series. So I'm just really happy to be able to see a black and white series like this get the treatment that hopefully it deserves. And even if this ends up being the only one that ever happens, like, this is the one I wanted the most. So I'm really, really excited for this. I think it's gonna do pretty well for Discotek, because like I said, I think the license for this probably wasn't that expensive. Yeah, I think this is great news. And also, Discotek can now take a look, obviously, at what happened to Anime Souls, see what shows did relatively well in terms of funding, and maybe get them. I think the one that I could definitely see Discotek getting now is Blackjack. Obviously, Anime Souls put out part 1 and part 2 of the 61 episode series. They only put out 26. I think it's like 61, something like that. I think the whole thing's on Crunchyroll, actually, or most of it. But yeah, I could definitely see Discotek perhaps picking that up at some point, or even maybe some of the older Blackjack stuff first, like the movies, the 11 OVA, 12, sorry, 12 movies or OVAs, whatever. But yeah, Dororo, very, very happy about that. Very excited. This is the number 1 license for me from this group. Bunch or whatever. And then a re-release of Shin Getarobo versus Neo Getarobo, the complete 4 episode OVA series on Blu-ray. I actually almost bought this on DVD just recently, glad I didn't, although I don't know if this will be an upscale. The OVA was from the year 2000, so I don't know if it's a digital series. It looks digital, so I don't know how good it will look on Blu-ray, but still, I'll probably end up buying the Blu-ray anyway. I mean, if it's an upscale, well, I will put in a little bit of research first, but I'll probably end up getting the Blu-ray. I think the Blu-ray will be fine. But yeah, that's everything. So Shin Robo vs Neo Robo, Dororo, Samurai Pizza Cat Standard Definition Blu-ray, Sonic X, Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan the movie, Library Wars, Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan TV special, Giant Gorg, and 5 centimeters per second. So yeah, that's everything. Still waiting on my SD card. Hopefully it'll come later today. If not, I don't know. Basically I'm just waiting on my SD card. When that comes, I'll end up doing proper videos again. So until then, I'll see you.